I am dedicating this movie this week to Mitch McConnell. And what more can be said about Weekend at Bernie's 2 that hasn't already been said? It's crude, it's crass, it's about a dead guy dancing, and dances very well for being dead. Even better than I do, and I'm alive. I just have no rhythm. And by no rhythm, I mean I have less rhythm than a Jew. This is Steve Sanders' Massacres the Movie. I'm Steve Sanders. And yes, that was a Jew joke. And it was bad. So this is the Mitch McConnell dedication movie. And it starts out at the city morgue, where Larry and Richard from the first one have identified Bernie's body and are getting his personal effects. And then they go to their job where they are fired because they think they had something to do with getting the $2 million that Bernie embezzled. And then we go to the Virgin Islands where we see the Mobu, who is a voodoo priestess. Voodoo priestess. There needs to be more voodoo priestesses around. We need to have them in the United States just creating random zombies. Like a Mitch McConnell zombie. Then he could be in the Senate still. Wait, he is in the Senate still. Well, he could be a zombie in the Senate. And Lindsey Graham could be a zombie in the Senate still, too. Mobu, who gets two New Yorkers to go back to New York to wake up Bernie so he could get the $2 million against their will. But Larry and Richard have a plan. Larry finds a key to the Virgin Islands in Bernie's stuff. And all they have to do is break into their old job and run the computers to see if it runs to anything, which they find it does, to Bernie's secret safe deposit box in the Virgin Islands, at which point they get arrested. But the two guys who the voodoo priestess sent get Bernie's body and make it, but they lose their chicken and use a pigeon and bring it to life, but only when he can dance. And it brings the Bernie dance, which you see me doing at the beginning. And you see me do it worse than a dead guy. Because that's just how I roll. Worse than dead guys. I also smell worse than dead guys. I'm proud of that fact. But then they lose Bernie on the subway. And he goes back to the morgue, where Larry and Richard steal his body. We are seeing a lot of body stealing in this movie. That's because I got nothing. They think it's funny, apparently, to steal dead bodies. I mean, when I try to steal dead bodies, I get arrested. So, think of that. And then Larry and Richard take Bernie to the Virgin Islands, where they stuff him in a refrigerator in a hotel room. And Larry tries to impress a girl and pretty much does not do that. Richard tries to create a plan where they can get Bernie's safe deposit box. Meanwhile, Hummel from Internal Investigations at their job is after them, which is the whole storyline I'm not even going to get into in this movie. He's played by Barry Bostwick from Seinfeld fame, and he hosted Family Feud for a while. Little piece of information about Barry Bostwick. He was not a very good host. Richard Karn, much better. Highly recommend Richard Karn's Family Feud episodes. For those who don't know who Richard Karn is, he was Al. Al hosted Family Feud and was very good at it. He left because they wouldn't give him a raise. Anyways, back to the movie. So Bernie escapes from the refrigerator thanks to music and goes dancing in a conga line and meets a girl. Too bad he's dead and can't have sex with the girl. Though he could have sex with the girl because he's already stiff. Yeah, that was a bad joke. Larry and Richard can't find him the next morning and find him on the beach with the girl, who says he's quite shy. Which, yeah, that would, being dead would explain that. So they take him to the bank, where the two guys the Mobu sent find him because they're in the Virgin Islands now and try to take him. But Larry and Richard take him back and get the safe deposit box note, which is a map. And then take the map to the girl Larry met, whose father has studied voodoo. But not before the boys, Larry and Richard, get taken to the voodoo priestess, where Richard gets poisoned and will die before sundown if he doesn't bring the map. But they realize Bernie is leading to the treasure, to $2 million, when he dances and moves. So they stick a pair of earbuds on him, headphones on him, and follow him underwater where he gets the treasure. And then they stick him on a carriage, in the front, of course, because where else are you going to stick a dead guy on a carriage? But except to the reins of it, except to where the horse goes, and let him lead the way. Of course, he leads to the Mobu, where he knocks everybody out, and the police get there and arrest everybody. And, well, the Mobu's knocked out, so Richard's going to die now. So sad for Richard. Richard, R.I.P. He wasn't a very good actor anyways. But don't worry, the girl's father, whose name I don't remember, is there anyways and can reverse the spell. And Barry Bostwick gets his $2 million back for the company. And then Larry and Richard sit on a boat at the end. And Larry reveals there was actually $3 million. And he stole $1 million. And now they live on a yacht with an all-female crew. And they're never going to New York again. And that is Weekend at Bernie's 2 in a nutshell. And by I mean a nutshell, I mean you don't want to go any further into this movie. It is horrible. It is not funny. It has numerous scenes abusing the dead. If you want to watch the dead be abused, watch the necromantic movies. It's much more entertaining. Maybe go watch Weekend at Bernie's 1. It has to be better. So here's a word from my sponsor. You've tried all those other boneless wings, and they just didn't do it for you. Come on down to Big Steve's House of Boneless Wings, where you can get the best bone-in, boneless wings in the state. Yes, that's right. Bone-in, boneless wings, and they're the best in the state, with 4 unique sauces, and they're the biggest bone-in, boneless wings you'll ever have. That's right, you heard me right. The best bone-in, boneless wings you'll ever have. That Big Steve's Bone-In, Boneless Wings.